Hi, this is Jack from Alpha Charts with a state of the market video. Today is November 20th, 2021. Before we get started, this video is for educational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security. I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. Okay, so looking at the SPX, and on the surface, SPX looks not too bad. Up slightly for the week. The week chart there, yep, up slightly for the week. So nothing really bad on the SPX on the surface. Obviously, beneath the surface, there's a little bit of damage and carnage going on there, and we'll get into that in a few minutes. Obviously, looking at it here, this 47, 20-ish area is what is now the new battleground for the Bulls and the Bears, somewhere around there. But again, trending higher on the index level. Looking at RSP equal weight, and it looks a little bit different, right? So on the equal weight on the week, we were down 1.24%, a lot different than being up. And that shows what's happening on under the surface. Definitely deterioration going on down to the 23-day EMA right here, which is now flat. Again, does this make it not a bull market anymore? I don't think so. I mean, I like that it came back in here. It came back a little deeper now. So I think it just probably needs a base on the equal weight level here. And I think that that's fine. Now, if it continues lower, obviously this is the area that I'm watching to hold. Right? If it continues lower from here, there's 157, 158, somewhere around there. That's where I think it should hold. Maybe 156 to 157-ish, whatever. But again, much different under the surface. Looking at the Qs, again, all-time highs, looks amazing on the index level. Looking at the equal weight level, not quite as amazing, right? Some days of just no progress, let's put it that way. Again, is it broken? Well, no, it's not broken. I mean, to me, this isn't broken yet. Yes, there's deterioration happening, but all moving Qs are above, the equal weight Qs are above all its trending moving averages. Listen, I'll change my mind if it starts to break down 100%, right? And again, you get down to this 87 level and really still be fairly healthy. I mean, that's 2% on the equal weight, right? So, and even from the highs, absolute highs, it's, less than 3%. That retracement, which is totally legit after, it goes, almost 10%, 9.5%. It retraces about a third. Okay. Anyway, so I'm not terribly worried about the equal weight index quite yet. Looking at IWM. Now, IWM is obviously the weaker of the bunch, and this is more concerning. So small caps, which may be leading, we'll find out. Here was this gigantic, 9-10 month base. We finally had the breakout, really excited. The crowd goes wild. And now it's come back and it's retesting that area, right? And just for fun, I'll go and make my line a little bit bigger here because it's really in that area, but it is under its moving averages and they are starting to curl down, right? And so that makes me a little bit more nervous. Again, is it a deal breaker? It's not a deal breaker, but if it continues lower, that would be much more concerning, much more bearish, and would not be happy with that at all. Mid caps holding up much better though, right? So right now, again, is this a double top? A little tiny baby one? Maybe. It's pretty close to confirming actually. Let's see, that's 2% down. Let's see, that 2%. Let's see my actual numbers. 2%. That's about 11.5 points. Too far. Sorry about this. 11.5 points, somewhere around here. right? So somewhere in this area, potentially, if this is a confirmed little tiny baby double top right there. Either way, mid caps holding up way better than IWM, and that's nice to see. IWO, I'm expecting to look just like IWM, looks a little bit worse than IWM, right? So growth definitely took a major hit this week, even though the indexes, as represented by SPX and QQQ, look pretty good. Financials. Financials, again, retesting this breakout, right? Again, it's at that point where this could easily hold, move higher from here, and it's not that big of a deal, right? It's part of, we would call this, looking back, we'd call this normal price action. If it breaks below this 38.50-ish level, that would be more concerning. Obviously, financials don't have to lead, but I do think they have to participate. And if they're moving in the wrong direction, that's never good. But look at SMH, right? If there was a real problem with going on, SMH would show it, and it's actually extended from its moving averages, right? It needs to pull back for this to be healthy, but it is really zooming higher. So you want a positive? Semiconductors, they're looking fantastic. Lumber, let's see what lumber did. Okay, lumber, it never broke down, right? If the market is anticipating, a move lower 3 to 6 months forward, going into next year and stuff, I think we would see lumber breaking down here. And right now we're not. It's actually rallied very nicely. It's holding up just fine. I mean, it's had multiple chances to break this area, and it held every single time. That says a lot to me right there too. Makes me a little bit more bullish, especially 3 to 6 months out. Bond yields, right? If the market was going to unravel and come apart, bond yields would be spiking, in my opinion. And we're not seeing spikes. This little move here is not a spike. We've seen it forever, right? That's normal price action for the bond yields. Again, this is a ratio chart of government bonds to high yield or junk bonds. Bond yields not spiking. Again, in my opinion, the market does not want to come apart if they're not spiking. VIX, tons of volatility, but it's under 18. Is that so bad? Not really. VIX, not spiking, right? VXN, not spiking really, right? No, it's at 21.75. Put call ratio. Got a little frothy back here, back in early November, right? And so this is just giving uncertainty and really no signal here, if anything else, right? It's in a bullish range still. So that's, again, no signal at all. Now, the breadth is the big issue, right? So breadth was a huge problem down here, right? And it started to make higher highs and higher lows. And this could just be another higher low, right? From here, from this uptrend. I would not put it past this to be some kind of higher low, and then it continues higher from here, again, just shaking out the excessive bullishness in the market. We're right at 50% of stocks above the 50-day moving average. So looking at the 200-day moving average, only was it right around 50% stocks above the 200 also. So they're both right at the 50% range. Obviously, we want to see this go higher, but yeah, breadth is deteriorating, and the value line geometric index kind of shows that pretty good too. It's, question is this just a normal retest, right, of this breakout? And again, value line is a great market breadth indicator, in my opinion. Is this just a breakout, retest, and now it's going to move higher, or just fall back into that gigantic range, very similar to what kind of IWM kind of looked like? And we don't know yet, right? We'll only know probably after this next week, which is a holiday shortened week, and people will be going on vacations and maybe thins trading, especially towards the end of the week. Anyway, gold. So here's gold, and we'll go to a weekly chart. And so it ended up down on the week. Look at that. But it did break out the week prior, and now it kind of consolidated, and that's an inside week. So with all that being said, I'll zoom out just a little bit more. Is this pattern finally bearing out, and people are going to starting to position into gold. Maybe. I think that we have to put that on the table. And if people are going into gold, then maybe more of a safe haven type asset. And the last one we're going to do is, I have gold in here now. Well, it's in my Bitcoin chart. Usually I don't keep gold as one of my things. So here we go. Here's Bitcoin weekly. False breakout, came back down. What does that mean? As of right now, I don't think all that much, but if it was a true risk on environment, in my opinion, you have Bitcoin breaking out and zooming higher. I think this is just indicative of the environment that we're in. So it's more of a little bit of a risk off as far as, Bitcoin is, the riskiest of the risk assets, growth stock on steroids type of thing. So if Bitcoin is having some issues, chances are growth stocks are going to have some issues too, in my opinion. Anyway, let's go and wrap this up. Markets, there's been a lot of doom and gloom on my Twitter page. There's been a lot of doom and gloom. People talking about how this is, the end of QE and this and that. I don't know, maybe it is, but as of right now, it's just a pullback within the context of an uptrend, in my opinion. Yes, are Apple, helping to keep this market looking good. Yeah, this helps a lot when some of the biggest companies, Amazon, like here, this helps a lot when the biggest companies are pulling the market up with them, right? Let's see what Facebook, not quite as good. Google, still holding up the market. Microsoft, right, looks great. Nvidia looks fantastic, right? So you have the mega caps holding it up, which is where you see the divergence between the Qs and the equal weight Qs, SPX and RSP, right? That's where you're going to see all these divergences up here. But in the end, I think this is, again, just a pullback within the context of an uptrend. We would see the issues in bond ratios and VIX and everything else. So we'll see what happens in the next week and really 2 weeks. And then, last month of the year is historically a very bullish time of year. So, don't get too bearish too soon. Mind your risk. For me personally, at this point, I have about 75% invested, 25% cash. And as things start to deteriorate, what my plan is, if something stops out, I just leave it in cash. I'm not going to be a hero. I'm not going to try to pick the bottom or anything like that. Leave it in cash. I'll let the market pull me back in. That's my takeaway from this. All right. Hope you all have a great week. If you like these videos, like and subscribe. Find me on Twitter at AlphaCharts365. Again, like and subscribe to the YouTube. Appreciate it, guys. Good luck and happy Thanksgiving, everybody.